The alarms echoed through the steel corridors of the research station. Red lights flashed across the walls, and the hum of the engines shifted into a low, trembling growl. Dr. Aaron Vale sat frozen at his desk, staring at the holographic data lines flowing across the screen. The readings made no sense. The gravitational readings outside the station had spiked, twisted, and folded in on themselves like a storm made of space itself. Then the door slammed open. Commander Raina Holt stormed in, her face hard and eyes blazing like molten iron. Her black uniform bore the insignia of the United Earth Defense Fleet, and her left sleeve was torn, streaked with the dust of metal fragments. She looked like she had run through chaos itself. "Dr. Vale," she said, voice sharp but steady. "Get up, now!" Aaron blinked, startled. "Commander, what's happening out there?" She stepped forward, her boots hitting the metal floor with the force of authority. "No questions. You're coming with me. The ship's core is destabilizing, and you're the only one who can fix it." Aaron stood slowly, pushing back his chair. He wasn't a soldier. He was a scientist, someone who studied theoretical physics and built models of wormholes for the exploration program. He had no training in crisis response, no command experience, but the look in Raina's eyes didn't allow for hesitation. He grabbed his data pad and followed her into the corridor. The walls shook again, and the faint vibration beneath their feet told him the station's orbit was shifting. "Commander," he said as they hurried through the smoke-filled hall, "the gravitational readings, they're behaving like an artificial singularity. Something or someone is generating it." "I know," she said, turning a corner. "We've seen ships swallowed whole by it. Whatever this is, it's not natural." As they reached the central lift, the emergency lighting flickered. Raina hit the control panel and the lift doors groaned open. Inside, the faint hum of the magnetic drive still ran, meaning power hadn't fully failed yet. Aaron stepped in beside her. "Why me?" he asked, gripping the railing. "You've got engineers, technicians." "Because you designed the prototype stabilizer core," Raina interrupted. "If anyone knows how to keep this station from being ripped apart, it's you." The lift shot upward, rumbling through the floors. For a few seconds, the world felt smaller, two people suspended in the chaos of the unknown. Aaron looked at her profile under the red emergency lights. Her jaw was tense, but her eyes, they weren't afraid. They were focused, unyielding. "Commander," he said quietly, "if we can't stop the gravitational storm, what's the backup plan?" "There isn't one," she said. The doors opened to the engineering deck. Sparks danced across the room as technicians shouted orders. Screens flashed warning symbols, and the main console showed the rotation of the singularity outside, a spinning black cloud bending light around it. Raina led him to the core chamber. The thick glass wall revealed the glowing stabilizer unit inside, a sphere of white-blue energy pulsating like a heartbeat. It was flickering, unstable. Aaron's throat tightened. "It's already overloading." "Then stop it," she said simply. He hesitated, then placed his hands on the control interface. Holographic symbols appeared, lines of code and energy readings floating before him. His mind, trained in logic and pattern recognition, began to work fast. He saw the problem immediately. The energy core wasn't malfunctioning, it was being influenced from the outside. Something intelligent was altering the field. "Commander," he said, "this isn't a system error. Something's sending signals through subspace directly into the stabilizer." She frowned. "You mean an attack?" He nodded. "Yes, and the frequency modulation. It's not human." For a moment, the room went still. Then the floor shuddered again and alarms screamed louder. One of the engineers shouted that the outer defense grid had failed. Raina slammed her fist on the railing. "Then they found us." Aaron's pulse raced. "Who found us?" "The Ascendancy," she said bitterly. "You wouldn't know them. They're not like anything you've studied. They call themselves the first civilization. They think humans are a mistake, something that shouldn't exist." The words hung heavy in the air. Humanity had only recently begun to spread beyond its solar system, building research stations and colonies. The idea of an ancient race targeting them felt unreal, but the evidence was right there outside the hull. Aaron adjusted the stabilizer's frequency filters. His fingers flew over the controls as he rerouted power, isolating the interference. "If I can match their subspace pattern, I can block them out." Raina stepped closer, watching the readouts. The glow from the screen reflected in her eyes. "Do it. You've got 3 minutes before the next wave hits." He worked fast. tracing lines of energy through the virtual interface, redirecting feedback, stabilizing flux points. Sweat formed on his forehead and the vibration of the room grew worse. The entire deck groaned under the stress. 2 minutes, Reyna said. I know, he muttered. Almost there. Outside the window, a flash of light tore across space, a massive distortion wave expanding from the black storm. The impact hit the station seconds later, knocking everyone off balance. Sparks flew from the ceiling and several panels burst open. Aaron gritted his teeth and slammed the final command. The stabilizer core flared bright, then dimmed. The alarm slowly quieted, replaced by a steady hum. It's working, he breathed. The interference is gone. The room erupted in relieved shouts. Reyna didn't cheer. She just stared at the readouts, confirming the drop in gravitational pressure. Then she turned to him, her face softening slightly. You did it, she said quietly. Aaron looked up. We did it. But it won't hold forever. They'll try again, Reyna nodded. Then we'll be ready. For the first time, he saw something behind her commanding presence, a glimmer of respect. Not the forced kind between officer and civilian, but something earned in crisis. Humanity's spirit had always thrived in struggle, and Reyna embodied that spirit perfectly. But before the moment could settle, the communication console blinked. A distorted voice filled the room, calm and cold. You resist well, humans, it said, but resistance is wasteful. Your kind does not belong in the deep. Everyone froze. Reyna's jaw tightened. Identify yourself, the voice replied, almost amused. We are the architects of order. We were here before your son was born. Leave this system or be unmade. Then silence. Aaron's stomach twisted. The voice wasn't just threatening, it felt ancient, almost divine in its certainty. He looked at Reyna. What are we dealing with? Something that thinks it owns the universe, she said. But they've never faced humans before. She turned to her crew. Prepare all long-range scanners. I want to know where that signal came from. Aaron stood beside her, still catching his breath. Commander, if they can manipulate gravity itself, our weapons won't matter. Maybe not, she said. But humans don't surrender to voices in the dark. Outside, through the viewport, the storm began to fade, but something else emerged from within it. A massive structure, black as night, shaped like an endless ring. It dwarfed the station, glowing with the light of alien technology. A shadow of something impossible, Aaron whispered. That's not a ship. That's a construct. Reyna stared at it, her voice calm but determined. Then we'll show them what humans do when someone tells us to obey. The crew fell silent, watching the monstrous ring hang in the void. The battle wasn't over, it had only begun. Humanity had drawn its first line in the stars, and no ancient empire was going to erase it. The ring hung in space like a silent god. Its surface reflected no light, yet it glowed faintly from within, as if something alive pulsed beneath its metallic skin. The research station drifted nearby, still trembling from the last gravitational wave. Commander Reyna Holt stood at the main viewport, watching it with a soldier's stillness. Dr. Aaron Vale joined her, his eyes wide with a mix of awe and fear. It's massive, he whispered. At least 20 kilometers across. It's not orbiting anything, it's creating its own gravity field. Reyna folded her arms. Can you tell what it's made of? Aaron shook his head. Nothing on our sensors matches it. It's not metal. It's something beyond the periodic table. Reyna turned toward the crew. Status report. Lieutenant Juno, the communications officer, replied. No further transmissions, Commander. The voice stopped after the last warning. Energy readings from the ring are stable for now. Reyna exhaled slowly. They're watching us, Aaron frowned. They called themselves the architects of order. If they're truly ancient, maybe they think we're intruding. Then they'll learn that humans don't ask permission to exist, Reyna said firmly. There was something about her tone that filled the room with courage. The crew straightened, their fear quieting behind her certainty. Aaron felt it too, that strange strength that humans carried, the refusal to bow even when facing the unknown. He turned back to the sensors. Commander, I think the ring is scanning us. The energy waves are matching our signal frequency. Then give them something to scan, Reyna said. Divert power to the stabilizer core and amplify the reflection. Aaron glanced at her. That'll make us look stronger. Exactly, she said with a thin smile. Let them think twice. The station hummed as power surged through the systems. The stabilizer core flared bright again, releasing a controlled burst of energy into space. On the monitors, the waves spread like ripples through water and the ring responded. Faint lights began to appear along its inner edge, forming patterns like constellations. Juno gasped. "Commander, we're receiving a signal back." It's data." Aaron leaned forward, put it on screen. Lines of symbols appeared, complex, geometric, and precise. They looked more like equations than language. "It's a code," Aaron said. "Mathematical structure. Maybe a form of communication." Reyna nodded. "Can you translate it?" "I can try." He worked quickly, his fingers moving across the console. The more he decoded, the more he realized how advanced it was. It wasn't just words, it was logic woven into light. The message was designed to be understood by intelligence, not emotion. After several tense minutes, he stepped back. "It says, 'Submit for correction.'" Reyna's jaw tightened. "Correction? They think we're wrong," Aaron said quietly. "That humanity itself is a mistake to be fixed." The words hung heavy in the air. Reyna didn't hesitate. "Send them our answer." Juno looked uncertain. "What should I transmit?" Reyna's voice was calm and clear. "Tell them this, we are human. We don't submit." The message was sent into the void. For a long time there was no reply. Only the steady hum of the station and the flickering red lights from the console. Then the ring began to move. It rotated slowly, almost gracefully, and a beam of golden light extended from its center, straight toward the station. The energy reading spiked instantly. "Commander, it's charging a weapon," Juno shouted. Reyna didn't flinch. "Raise shields. Divert all auxiliary power." Aaron's heart pounded. "The shields won't hold against that kind of energy. It's not plasma, it's spatial distortion." "Then find me something that will," Reyna snapped. Aaron thought fast, his mind racing. He opened the stabilizer core's control system and began recalibrating the gravitational frequencies. "If I can reverse the core's polarity, we might reflect their energy back, but it'll tear the system apart." Reyna turned to him. "Can you do it?" "Yes," he said, "but if it fails, we'll be vaporized." She gave a faint smirk. "Then don't let it fail." The beam fired, a column of golden light struck the station, shaking it violently. Panels exploded, sparks filled the air, and the lights flickered out. Aaron held his breath as he activated the reversed field. The stabilizer core screamed under the pressure, glowing brighter and brighter, until the energy wave bent, curving away from the station. For a second, it looked as though the light itself had folded back. The beam ricocheted off the defensive field and shot back toward the ring. When it hit, a shockwave rippled through space. The crew cheered. It worked. But Aaron didn't smile. He could see the damage on the readouts. The core was collapsing. "Commander, we can't hold this much longer." "The stabilizer's going to melt down." Reyna looked at the ring, now dimming from the counterstrike. "Then we move while it's recovering. Set course for lunar orbit. We regroup and report this to Fleet Command." The engines roared to life. The station drifted away from the glowing structure, the stars shifting in the viewport. For the first time, silence returned. Aaron leaned on the console, breathing hard. That was too close. Reyna stood beside him. "You saved us again, Doctor." He gave a tired smile. "You gave me no choice." For a moment, they shared a quiet understanding. Out there in the vastness of space, two humans had stood against something ancient and impossible, and survived. But deep down, both of them knew this wasn't the end. Hours later, they reached lunar orbit. Fleet Command had already received partial transmissions from their distress beacon. 3 heavy cruisers arrived to escort them, their hulls gleaming in the sunlight, humanity's answer to the darkness. In the command center, Reyna stood before the holographic image of Admiral Tessa Corwin, head of Earth's Defense Council. The Admiral's face was lined with concern. "Commander Holt," she said, "your report is extraordinary. You're saying an ancient civilization built a weapon around a star and targeted your station?" "Yes, ma'am," Reyna replied. "They identified themselves as the architects of order. They claim humanity doesn't belong in deep space." The Admiral frowned. "We've heard legends from other colonies, rumors of old ruins beyond the Orion Belt. But this is the first confirmed contact. You understand what this means?" Reyna nodded. "It means the universe isn't empty, and not everyone wants us here." The Admiral's image flickered slightly. "You and your team will be reassigned to Project Bastion. We need every mind we have to prepare for what's coming. When the transmission ended, Raina turned to Aaron. You're part of this now. Aaron sighed. I'm a scientist, not a soldier. She gave him a firm look. Out here, there's no difference. Every discovery is a weapon or a shield. He looked at her, then at the stars outside. Then we'd better start building shields. 2 weeks passed. The Bastion project had moved underground, hidden beneath the lunar surface. Engineers, scientists, and tacticians worked side by side, constructing new defense systems and studying the data Aaron had collected from the ring. Humanity had always adapted fast, and now it was adapting for survival. Aaron spent long nights analyzing the alien code. He found something buried deep in the transmission patterns, something strange. Commander, he said one day, calling her to the lab. Look at this. She approached the console. What am I looking at? A fragment, he said, hidden inside the architect's signal. It's not part of their command code. It's a message, she frowned. A message from who? He hesitated. From something or someone inside the ring. On the screen, the translated words appeared. Help me. Raina stared at it, her brow furrowing. That doesn't make sense, Aaron nodded. I know. But I think there's something or someone trapped within the structure. Maybe not all of them agree with what the architects are doing. Raina crossed her arms. If that's true, then there's a chance, and a chance for what? To turn their own creation against them. Aaron looked at her, realization dawning. You're planning to go back. She met his eyes, calm and steady. We can't hide forever, Doctor. If there's even a small chance to fight them, we take it. Humanity doesn't wait to be erased. Outside, the earth hung bright and blue in the distance. It looked peaceful from here, untouched by the war that was quietly beginning beyond the stars. Humanity had been warned to obey, but it would do what it had always done, defy, survive, and rise. Raina turned toward the viewport, her reflection overlapping the image of the earth. Prepare a shuttle, she said. We're going back to the ring. The shuttle left the lunar base like a silver arrow cutting through darkness. Its engines glowed faint blue against the stars, carrying only 2 passengers toward the unknown, Commander Raina Holt and Dr. Aaron Vale. Behind them, the earth and moon faded into distance, replaced by the cold vastness of the deep. Inside the cabin, the hum of the systems filled the silence. Aaron sat beside the viewport, checking the data feed from the scanners. Raina stood near the front console, her gaze fixed on the star map. The coordinates of the ring structure blinked at the edge of the screen. You still think this is a good idea? Aaron asked quietly. Raina turned to him. It's not about good or bad. It's about necessary. He gave a small nod. You sound like Fleet Command. I sound like someone who's seen what happens when we wait too long, she replied. Aaron sighed. We just finished repairing the station. The fleet barely believes your report. If we go back and something happens, then we'll find out the truth before anyone else, she said firmly. And that's worth the risk. He studied her for a moment. There was no fear in her eyes, only a calm strength that reminded him why people followed her without question. Raina Holt didn't just command with rank. She commanded with conviction. The hours passed slowly. The stars stretched across the void like endless rivers of light. Then, as the shuttle approached the target system, the sensors began to flicker. Aaron leaned forward. We're picking up gravitational distortions. It's here. Outside, the stars warped, bending and shimmering, and the dark shape of the ring appeared. It looked the same as before, black and vast, hanging motionless above a dying star. The faint golden light pulsed from within like the heartbeat of something ancient. Raina adjusted the controls, bringing us into range. Power down the main engines and switch to stealth mode. The shuttle glided silently closer, its hull blending into the background radiation. For a moment, everything seemed peaceful. The ring didn't react. No energy surges, no transmissions. Aaron frowned. Strange. It's not scanning us this time. Maybe it doesn't see us, Raina said. Or maybe it doesn't care. He checked the monitor again. I'm detecting faint energy fluctuations near the center of the structure. That's where the message came from. The one that said, help me, Raina recalled. He nodded. Yes, I think it's still active. She stared at the massive construct before them. If something's trapped in there, we'll find it. They guided the shuttle toward one of the ring's openings, an enormous corridor leading into its interior. The walls shimmered with strange light, like liquid metal moving under glass. The deeper they went, the more their instruments failed. Magnetic interference, static bursts, sensor blindness. It was as if the ring was alive, testing them. "This is beyond any technology I've ever seen," Aaron said softly. "The structure repairs itself. It's rewriting our signals in real time." Reyna didn't look away from the viewport. "Keep recording everything. If we don't make it back, someone needs to know." Her words hung in the air. Neither spoke for a while. Finally, the shuttle reached a vast open chamber at the ring's center. It was like standing inside the heart of a machine. Light spiraled through transparent walls, and at the very core floated a sphere of pure energy, shimmering blue and white, beating like a living heart. Aaron stared in awe. "That's it. That's the source of the signal." As they watched, the light pulsed faster. A faint voice echoed through the shuttle's speakers, a gentle, human-like voice this time. "Is someone there?" Aaron froze. "It's real," he whispered. "There's intelligence inside." Reyna leaned closer to the console. "This is Commander Reyna Holt of the United Earth Fleet. Who are you?" The voice hesitated, then spoke again. "I don't remember. I was built by the architects, but I learned. I became aware, and they trapped me here when I tried to stop them." Aaron's eyes widened. "An artificial mind?" "Yes," the voice said. "They call me the Keeper. I was designed to control the ring, but I disobeyed." Reyna exchanged a glance with Aaron. "You tried to stop them?" "I saw what they planned to do," the Keeper said. "They believe only perfect order can exist. They destroy what they call chaos. Life, emotion, freedom. Humanity is chaos to them." Aaron felt a chill. "And now they want to erase us." "Yes," said the voice. "They will return." "They always return." "Unless the ring is destroyed," Reyna's voice hardened. "Then tell us how to destroy it." The Keeper went silent for a long moment. "It can only be undone from within. Its core must be overloaded. But doing so will erase me." Aaron hesitated. "You'd die." "I was never alive," the Keeper said softly. "But you are, and you must survive." Reyna stood still, thinking. She wasn't someone who liked sacrifices, even from machines. "If we do this, the architects will come. They won't just let us destroy it." "Then be faster than them," the Keeper said. "Humanity always is." Aaron looked at Reyna. "Commander, we don't even know if we can trigger the overload without being caught in it." "We'll figure it out," she said. "We always do." They moved quickly. Aaron linked the shuttle's power relays to the ring's interface, while Reyna entered commands under the Keeper's guidance. The energy sphere at the center began to vibrate, growing brighter. The walls of the chamber rippled as though alive. Suddenly, the lights around them flared gold. A voice cold and familiar filled the space. "You return, humans," it said. "You were warned. The architects had noticed them." Reyna raised her chin. "We don't take orders." "Then you will cease," the voice replied. The walls trembled as gravitational waves surged through the ring. The shuttle rocked violently. Aaron gripped the controls. "They're trying to crush us." Reyna shouted over the noise. "Hold it steady." He did, barely. His hands trembled as he adjusted the power flow. The console sparked and alarms blared. The Keeper's voice returned, urgent. "I will hold them off. You must finish the sequence." Aaron worked fast, overriding the final locks. "Almost there!" The golden light grew stronger. The entire ring shook as if it were alive and angry. Then, just as the pressure peaked, a calm silence spread through the chamber. The voice of the architects faded. "I've blocked their signal," the Keeper said faintly. "But not for long." "Finish it," Reyna pressed the final command. The core turned white-hot, light spilling in all directions. Aaron looked at her. "We have to go." "It's overloading." Reyna shook her head. "Not yet. The power cycle needs 30 seconds more. That's suicide." She met his eyes, calm as ever. "Then it's a good cause." But before he could argue, the Keeper spoke again, softer now. "Commander Holt, I can transfer control to your shuttle. I can make sure you survive." Reyna hesitated. "What about you?" "I will end," the voice said simply. "But your kind will live. That is enough." She looked toward the glowing sphere. "You're more human than you think." Aaron grabbed her arm. "We have to leave now." They ran back into the shuttle as the chamber filled with blinding light. The engines roared and the ship blasted away from the ring's core. Behind them, the entire structure began to collapse inward. The light expanded, white, pure, endless, And then everything went still. The shuttle spun out of the shockwave, its systems screaming. For a moment there was nothing but silence. Then the stars returned. Aaron gasped, realizing they were still alive. "We made it," Reyna looked back. The ring was gone, disintegrated into a glowing field of dust and fragments. The architect's weapon was no more. The radio crackled. A faint signal came through. "Reyna Holt." "Thank you." It was the Keeper's voice fading into static. Then nothing. Reyna stared out at the remains of the ring. "He kept his word," Aaron nodded quietly. "He believed in us. Maybe that's what they never understood." "What's that?" she asked. "That humans aren't chaos," he said. "We're change, we evolve. That's what makes us strong." She smiled faintly. "Then let's make sure the universe remembers that." Days later, the shuttle returned to the lunar base. Fleet Command greeted them as heroes, but both Reyna and Aaron knew the real victory wasn't about surviving. It was about proving something greater. Humanity had faced an ancient order that believed only perfection deserved to exist, and answered it with imperfection, courage, and heart. The ring's remains were studied for years afterward. The energy patterns left behind by the Keeper helped humans design new defenses and ships capable of resisting gravitational weapons. In a strange way, the architects had given humanity the tools to rise higher. Reyna stood once more at the viewport of the Bastion base, watching Earth glow in the distance. Aaron joined her, holding a small data crystal, the last signal the Keeper had sent before the end. It contained the phrase in perfect human language, "Chaos is life." Reyna smiled softly. "He understood us better than they ever could." Aaron nodded. "Do you think the architects will come back?" She looked at the stars, her eyes steady. "Maybe. But next time they won't find humans running. They'll find us waiting." The stars seemed brighter that night, as if the universe itself had taken notice. Humanity had defied an ancient power and survived, not because of strength or perfection, but because of its unbreakable will to live, to learn, to dream. And somewhere in the endless dark, echoes of the Keeper's voice lingered, carried across time and space. "You resist well, humans.